Hi, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me online should be linked down below. You'll often find me chatting here about my adventures in knitting and crochet and spinning, but today is just a short video, one of my Diary of a Yarn Shop Owner instalments. So if you haven't been here for very long, I just chat for a little while about what's going on in my little shop. As you can see behind me, I'm sat in the shop today. I run a little bricks and mortar yarn shop just outside of Cardiff in South Wales in the UK, and it's called Yarn and Yarns, the same as the channel. I haven't recorded one of these videos for a couple of months, and a few people have been asking whether there's an update on what's happening with the shop. I guess the reason I haven't recorded anything for the last couple of months is there hasn't really been that much going on, but I thought I'd pop by, give you a quick update. I've got a couple of new yarns to show you, and a couple of other bits and pieces, so I thought I could probably cobble together 10 minutes or so of me waffling on and put up one of these videos. So there won't be any works in progress or anything like that, so if that's the content you like, then thank you for clicking play on this video, but hopefully I shall see you next time instead. In terms of a shop update, I don't really have a ton of news. I still, unfortunately, don't know what's happening. So if you joined me last time, I can't remember exactly what stage we were at, but the building that my shop is in has been put up for sale by my current landlords, and it has received an offer on the building, and therefore a new landlord could be imminent. I have not had any contact from the people that are interested in purchasing the shop. The situation has been the same for quite a few months now. The last time I spoke to my landlord's representatives, they basically told me that my landlord, who lives overseas, came over at the end of June expecting to sign all of the paperwork to exchange and sell the building to the new owners. But that didn't happen. Now at the end of July, and as far as I'm aware, nothing has actually moved on. This kind of leaves me in a bit of limbo, really. I have no idea as to the exact future of the shop or the plans for the new owner. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts to back that up yet. Basically, the building comprises of my shop, and there is a flat upstairs. The flat is currently vacant and has been for well over a year. When the last tenants moved out, the landlord decided to put the building up for sale and decided not to re-occupy the flat. I had notification from the local council here that a planning application had gone in for the building. Basically, it's a change of use application, so whoever is interested in the building wants to change the upstairs portion of the building from an occupied space, so a residential space, to a business space, and I believe they want to open a tutoring school. So that is basically a business to provide children with extra tuition to help them in their studies. The planning application states that there will be no changes to the bottom half of the building, i.e. the shop floor. However, there is mention of them wanting to have a ground floor reception come waiting room area for, I guess, parents who are waiting to pick up the kids. I'm not 100% sure of the layout of the flat. I think there is a small downstairs area, but I'm assuming that means that they are planning to convert the shop floor to their waiting room area come reception, which obviously means I will no longer be here. But as I say, I don't know that for definite. I don't know what stage things are at. I do know that some people have put in objections to the planning application for a variety of different reasons, none of which are directly connected to the shop being here as such. But yeah, I'm still in a bit of a limbo land at the moment. I'm trying to stay positive, and whatever happens will happen. In theory, my lease here runs until the end of next March. In practice, if the new owners come in and want to serve notice, then I could be closing up shop before then. It's very unlikely that I will move premises. The business that I run here pays for itself. We make a small amount of profit, not tons, and I just wouldn't be able to support the cost of a move. It'd be very unlikely that I could find another shop with a reasonable rent in this area that I'd be able to just move to without having to refit the premises and all that malarkey. So yeah, if this sale goes through, I think it's very likely that Yarn and Yarns will cease to trade, which is very sad. In the meantime, I'm kind of carrying on business as usual. It's affecting things in that we're at the time of year where all of the sort of yarn companies are bringing out their new lines, but I'm very reluctant to invest anything new for the autumn winter season because I have to buy everything up front. There's quite a big cost implication to that, and sometimes it can take a while for a new yarn to get into people's consciousness, and therefore you know, sometimes I can be spending upwards of £1,000 to bring in a new yarn line, and it might be 3, 4, 5, 6 months before it starts to actually sell in reasonable quantities. So I'm understandably reluctant to do that when I don't know whether I'm going to be trading in 6 months' time. It is quite a difficult situation. I am at peace with whatever happens. However, it's definitely starting to take a toll on my mental health, I think. I am generally a positive person, although I do suffer from anxiety, and I do on occasion have panic attacks. Maybe not information you really need to know, but I think it's good to talk about mental health issues. I think it's the uncertainty more than anything else that is bringing me down a little bit every week. Understandably, the customers who come here to our regular groups are asking, is there any update on the shop? And I have people come in who see the big sold sign outside. Oh, what's happening with the business? And it's a bit wearing really to be fielding off those queries all the time and not being able to give people any concrete information. It also means that it's very difficult for me to expend any energy at the moment in terms of plans and building up the business when I don't know what the future holds. So yeah, I'm finding the last couple of weeks in particular pretty tough. Also going into the very quiet time of the year, and July this month will be the first time I think that I haven't actually made enough money to cover the rent, let alone the other bills that I have to pay. Which this kind of thing cycle happens every year. It gets much quieter in the summer, but yeah, I guess with that and the future of the shop kind of up in the air, I'm feeling a bit like things are failing at the moment, which is not a pleasant position to be in, but it is what it is. I can just continue to do my best and see what the future brings. And I don't think there's really anything more that I can say about that. I've just got to carry on. I've got a break coming up in a couple of weeks, which I think will be nice. I had a few days off here and there, mostly for our bank holidays, which are public holidays here in the UK. And then the only other time I took a couple of days off was to attend a funeral, so not exactly a break. A very emotionally difficult time. So I'm looking forward to getting through the next couple of weeks and having that break. On top of everything else, yesterday I received a letter from the local council to say that they're going to be resurfacing the road out the front of the shop, not next week but the week after. So they're going to be stripping the road back, re-tarmacking it, so it's going to be noisy, dirty and smelly. No traffic will be able to come up the road, pedestrians will be able to come, but I'm not sure whether my group members are going to want to come and sit and knit when it's noisy and stinky outside. I'm already closed for a week in August. That could be a second week where I barely make any money, so yeah, tough couple of months. Anyway, let's draw a line under that and we shall move on to some hopefully more fun things. I've got a couple of new yarns to show you that have come into the shop recently. So the first one is from Stylecraft Yarns, which is a big company here in the UK. For anyone who's outside the UK, I'm not sure how well known they are around the world. They provide a lot of basic yarns, but also very good quality, mostly acrylic and wool acrylic blends. So they brought out 3 new colours in their Batik Swirl range, which is a big 200-gram ball of double knitting yarn, sort of like a self-striping yarn. I did have this yarn in before. I discontinued it for a little while just to bring in something new and make space, but I thought it'd be fun to bring in the new colourways as this was quite a popular yarn. So there's 3 new colourways. There's this one that I'm showing you, which is called Winter Woodland, and this one's probably my favourite. There's some beautiful mustards and pinks and greys in that colourway. The second one is Spring Garden, which is some lovely blues and pinks and greens. And then the final one is Coral Reef, which if you are a pink fan, you'll probably love this one. So there's some pinks and beiges. Yeah, this one's probably been the most popular one so far since it's come in. It's a really nice yarn. It's a blend of wool and acrylic, so 80% acrylic, 20% wool. You get a free crochet pattern on the ball band for making a really pretty cowl. But yeah, 200 grams and they retail for £9.95, so it's fairly good value for a wool acrylic blend in this sort of quantity. And you know, one ball, 200 grams, is going to make you a really decent sized scarf or shawl or something like that. So people are starting to think about their gift knits. I know it's early on in the year, but we makers know that if you want to make a bunch of gifts for your loved ones and friends for Christmas, then it's time to start making now. So yeah, it's quite a popular one for gifts, because a tenner, and you can probably make a couple of hats or a couple of those cowls out of one ball. It's pretty good value, really. The other yarn that I have to show you, I've got a few new colorways, or new for me colorways, in the lovely By Miranda May yarn line, which is from one of our local indie dyers. So I have got a couple new colourways in Miranda's tweed base. These are ones that I think she's had available before, but I haven't had them here in the shop. So I've got this gorgeous bright green, which is called Cut Grass. I really love this one. It's not quite as luminous as it's showing on my screen there, but it is pretty bright. And then I also have Dove, which is a really lovely tonal grey colourway, nice neutral. So I've got those two in the tweedy base. I've got a lovely large sock set. I think this one is a self-striping. It's the Malachite colourway with a little grey mini. So there's some lovely greens and blues in that one. Apologies, customer interruption. Yes, and finally I've got some of Miranda's small sock sets, which are the 50 gram main colour and a 20 gram mini. So I've got one in the Friends inspired Smelly Cat colourway, so that's the main colour, and then there's this beautiful sort of burgundy brown for heels, toes and cuffs. And then I have got a daffodil, which are these gorgeous vibrant greens. The last thing, I wanted to show you something new for the shop. I have finally been sewing again. I dragged my sewing machine down to our dining room, and James very graciously allowed me to take over our dining room. If you followed me for a while, you know that the room that I have sort of dedicated to all my bits and pieces is an attic conversion. So at this time of year, and we're in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK, it's just so hot up there, it's unbearable. So he said I could overtake our dining room, so I've been sewing again. So I've got a few project bags. I've done 2 lots so far. The first lot sold out really quickly. The second lot I made double the quantity, so I've got some left, which is quite nice. Makes the little sort of shelf behind me look nice and full. So I have some sheep and some gorgeous woodland creatures, some foxes and some cats. I did also have some birds and some sort of stylized drafts, but they've gone for now, although I do have a little bit more of that fabric at home when I have the inclination to sit at my sewing machine again, which I will do shortly. But yeah, I'm not going to harp on about it. It's been so hot here in the UK, particularly in the last week. I just haven't had the energy to do anything. So come Monday's usual episode, there's probably going to be very little, this is a spoiler, very little content, because I just haven't fancied really picking up hook, needle or sitting at my sewing machine. So and I've not done much spinning either, so sorry for all of the crazy background noise. I've had to keep the door open here in the shop, otherwise I would just be melting. It's quite overcast here today. Yesterday was the hottest day. Temperatures up to just over 30 degrees here in Wales, and I think down in London it was close to 40, which is 100, which is very hot for here in the UK. It's a bit more overcast today, but it's still very humid. The temperature's dropped by about 10 degrees, but the humidity levels are high, so I need to keep the door open, so I feel like there's some air coming through. Anyway, I'm sure many of you out there have seen many of us here in the UK moaning about the heat, so I won't add to that too much. Right, so time to wrap up the video. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have found some of the content interesting. I never know, a lot of you say that you enjoy the Diary of a Yarn Shop Owner's videos. However, I feel like there hasn't really been that much to say this time, but as a few of you had asked for an update, I thought I might as well hop on and chat for a little while. So until next time, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy, and great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.